liftoff.
Are you an American with discerning taste? You have a more refined palate, or at least a palate that knows that skunk meat is tasty and not at all scary or weird to eat? Then you've got to come on into Jumbo's Skunkapalooza today! Sure, other proteins like chicken, cow, and even pig have a better reputation among undiscerning eaters, but you know better. You know that skunk meat is delicious and nutritious. So come on into Jumbo Skunkapalooza today, because boy, do we have a lot of lawsuit settlement payments to make, since some folks apparently thought skunk wasn't as good as shrimp, but we're legally forbidden from disparaging those people. So just, come on now. Come eat at our skunk restaurant, would you?
Coming to you live from a place you cannot get to or find on any published maps, it's KPBC News with your lead anchor, Anchor Cat. Greetings, I'm Anchor Cat, and here are the stories we've chosen to make you aware about, and there's literally nothing else going on in the world that you need to change the channel and find out about instead. In our top story, Disneyland announced that it would be lowering prices on several new experiences within the park that they had debuted during former CEO Bob Chapek's tenure. Citing low demand and a desire to try to create a buzz about these new experiences, current CEO Bob Iger said the Wookiee Adventure to the Planet Bukkake orgy experience at Star Wars Galaxy Edging will be lowered to $250 per person. For a full list of the price changes, see Disneyland's official website. Next, a man in California reportedly partook of cannabis this weekend, and according to reporter Skip Tumalu, he wanted to share his experiences using legal, recreational weed with everyone. Skip?
That's right, AC. I just spoke to California resident Jerry Toaster Strudel, and he told me a rather fascinating story.
Well, Skip, I got off of work late Friday afternoon. I went to a dispensary here in town. It's a dispensary that sells legal recreational cannabis. I bought that cannabis, I took it home, and I smoked it. Then I ate chips. Then I watched every episode of The Golden Girls and passed out.
And what else happened? Anything traumatizing or scary?
No. Like I said, I smoked some pot. I ate some chips. Okay, I ate a bunch of chips. I ate the whole bag. Then I watched Golden Girls. And then I went to bed.
As you can see, Anchor Cat, this story was, well, pretty boring. And I'm guessing that's because weed is pretty much not a big deal, even though some people in this country still think it's as scary as crack cocaine. Back to you, Anchor Cat.
Speaking of crack, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said she's upping the reward for information on who dropped a house on her sister and took her ruby red MAGA hat to $60,000 and Bass Pro Shop gift cards, equaling the same amount. If you have any information for Ms. Greene, please send it to Congress-Pony Marjorie Taylor Greene, care of Donald Trump's Shriveled Mushroom, 10210 Mar-a-Lago Road, Shitstain, Florida, 01469. And let's pause right here for a brief word from our sponsors and be right back with more news. This week on a very special Dude Fucking.
Dude fucking! Dude fucking!
Dude Fucking. Thursdays at 5:46 p.m. Only on Real TV.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is a guy who doesn't know about disc golf talking about disc golf. Right here today, guys. I'm so super stoked to have. Oh man, I cannot not even believe I'm standing here talking to him. He's a professional Hall of Fame disc golfer, of course. His name is Romero Montana. Thanks for joining us, Romero.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So stoked, so pumped. All right, so listen, here's the thing. In disc golf, as in regular golf, you're actually supposed to hit it with the ball smasher. But I don't have a golf ball smasher. I have a hockey puck smasher. So I'm going to demonstrate it just exactly as Romero would want me to with a golf.
Excuse me, what is a golf smasher?
Oh, you know what I mean. So have you ever played golf?
I actually have.
Yeah, right. So like you stand up on the golf field, and you put the ball down on the ground, and then you do that thing, you go, and then you hit it. There's that movie with Adam Sandler where he played the guy who played. No, I think it was Punch Drunk Love. So, because he was punch drunk from punching the ball. He was drunk with love of punching the ball. So anyway, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, in this case, the hockey puck smasher, and you're just gonna do this, right? Is that not right?
That's not at all the way you play this sport.
Well, I mean, I think I'm the guy with the show, so maybe I know. Here you go. Here you go.
Good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to the wide world of sporty things. We'll bring you all the highlights from the 5th annual Turgidify Disc Golf Pro-Am later in the show. But first, we wanted to show you some footage of a new game that it seems like everyone is playing these days. BALLPICKLE!
I've been playing ball pickle for a couple months now, and I gotta say, once you get used to putting your balls in a pickle jar, the rest of the game kind of becomes second nature to you.
Welcome back. Jesus Christ returned to Earth today, marking his long-awaited second coming. However, it might disappoint some Christians to find out that Mr. Christ returned to Earth simply to try a different sandwich, and not to signal a beginning of the tribulation as seen in the Bible's book of Revelations. According to Jesus, who spoke to reporters just outside a Jersey Mike's sub sandwich restaurant in Boysenberry Plains, Alabama, he had been hearing good things about their original Italian sandwich, but really regretted dying over 2,000 years before he could try one. So Christ took the first flight down from heaven to earth, cashing in several million frequent flyer miles, and he tried the original Italian sandwich. We'll track down Jesus' reaction to that sub sandwich and bring you an update in a later broadcast. Next, investigators are worried they may never solve the mysterious murder that took place in the mansion up on the top of the hill here in town. They have several suspects and even have found a handful of potential murder weapons, but so far they've not been able to determine which of their suspects committed the crime, with which weapon, and in which room of the mansion. However, they say they have a pretty good hunch about who's got the cards that could help them narrow down their options. Now it's time for the Entertainment Minute with our own Gil Fishman. Gil, actors like Kevin Sorbo and comedians like Rob Schneider have been claiming lately that Hollywood has blackballed them simply because of their conservative political views. From what you've found out in talking to various showbiz types, is that true?
I'm sorry, who?
Actor Kevin Sorbo.
I've never heard of any actor called Kevin Sorbet, but I have seen an aging bicep muscle in a MAGA hat complaining about not being Hercules anymore, though.
What about comedian Rob Schneider?
Again, never heard of him. Are you pranking me right now, AC?
Well, that's all the time we have for the Entertainment Minute today, Gil. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Let's take a break and be right back with more news.
They may be doing their job, but is mediocrity all you want sitting in office? Look, they're alright, but just good enough is the enemy of best ever. Imagine, our sitting senator, but he could perform open heart surgery in under 3 hours. That would be even better. I mean, imagine, our sitting governor, but like, if they could boast 200 homes already built for the homeless and 500 homes for educators this year alone, that would be iconic. No. Ew. Imagine, our sitting president, but like They can eat 69 hot dogs in 10 minutes. That would be the literal opposite of boring. It would be rad. It would be fucking rad. And what's the point of democracy if you can't vote to make shit fucking rad?
Coming up on Big Pecker, Little Pecker.
Pew pew.
Oh, here we go again. Why you gotta watch that crap, son? What's with your generation and Mary Sue's anyway?
Luke's barely in this one, Dad. Remember, he blows up the Death Star in the first one?
Yeah, but you said, but it doesn't, but shit, yeah, no, forget, I'm out of here.
Are you unable to cope with the fact that certain producers of a certain gender that oversee the creative output based in and around a certain space opera set in this one galaxy far, far away has yet to acknowledge that every piece of media that franchise has ever pumped out has been made not only for you, but in some ways by you? And she keeps making woke wars? There could be a drug for you. Your friends at Chemtech know that accepting reality is especially hard for people who don't really have a lot else going on in their lives anyway. And when you add a natural tendency toward the most unevolved, casually misogynistic, and not so subtly racist explanations for why your favorite sci-fi fantasy franchise doesn't make you happy anymore, reality seems an even more bitter pill to swallow than usual. That's why we developed our new Get Fully technology that will literally force your brain to get the fuck over it.
What's this drug called, and why did you invent it, and how the hell did you get in here?
It's called weed, Charlie. And no, Chemtech did not invent cannabis. Don't be silly. Even though we will one day, in the not too distant future, sue the US government for the right to declare in our marketing campaigns that we did, we don't claim, legally, at this time, that we invented weed. We're just the first pharmaceutical company with the corporate cojones to sell it to you the way honorable, decent Americans know is the only way patriots get their fix. Their HMO-approved pharmacy.
You know what? Why do I care? I was 12 when Star Wars. We didn't even call it A New Hope back then. Oh, man. Gives a fuck. Let the 12-year-olds call it what they want. Let them like what they want. If it's woke, I guess I just won't watch new Star Wars unless I get intellectually curious, and I don't know how that. Oh, screw it. I'm gonna go watch that new one with the girl in it with my son.
Side effects of weed are pretty cool unless you hate snacks, live music, laughing, or naps. Weed may not be right for everyone, but honestly, it's just weed. So just ask your doctor if weed is right for you, and we're sure he'll say it is. Especially if you see this one doctor I know in the valley who sees patients via Skype. Pew pew.
$500 a gram? What in the Jesus fuck?
It may be weed, but we're still Big Pharma, Chuck.
Guess I'll just go to the legal recreational dispensary around the.
The one we just bought out for more money than you'll ever see in your lifetime, Chuck? Weed. Coming soon from Chemtech. And only Chemtech. Thanks to that guy.
What do you mean, do I think that I'm a hypocrite just because I supported the war on drugs for decades and then I flipped my stance on it once Chemtech's lobbyists decided to hold a brunch for me at Burger King? How dare you, madam, for asking that kind of insightful question? Rude.
Representative Tom Tompleson was arrested for insider trading.
Wait, what the fuck did that cat in the suit just say? Am I really under?
I'm Detective Dick Inspector Doranto, and you're under arrest, Representative Tom Paulson, for insider trading.
I thought that's what the cat in the suit said, yeah.
And is under investigation by the House Ethics Committee for possible campaign finance law violations.
What? Seriously?
How did they even find out? After recordings of him telling a Chemtech lobbyist that he'd convinced the Freedom Caucus to support legal cannabis if they'd held a brunch at his local Burger King were published. Oh, well, crap. There goes my political career, I guess. Guess I'll have to be a Fox News pundit after I get done serving my stint in minimum security federal prison. Well, at least the pay raise will be nice. Tomlinson was arrested during a press conference at which he was denying all allegations. Already, he's moved up 20 points in the Republican primary for his seat next year. Oh, never mind then. Politics it is. I wonder if I can vote by proxy from prison. Well, I gotta go call my lawyer.
Don't miss this week's special episode of Cop Suck.
You have the right to remain silent, and you've lost the right to trade.
Cop Suck. Thursdays at 7 a.m. Only on Real TV.
Next, famous flat earther Todd Tigglesworth has died. Mr. Tigglesworth's widow, Tilda Tigglesworth, released a statement shortly after finding out his homemade rocket ship, which he was going to use to get photographs that irrefutably proved the planet is flat, exploded shortly after takeoff. The statement reminded everyone that her husband would want the world to remember his obsession with the flat earth conspiracy, yes, but also his other, in her words, quote, completely fuck-witted and above-the-fold insanely stupid beliefs, unquote, such as being anti-vaccine and believing that Kari Lake won Arizona's governorship in 2020. It's time for sports with Coleman Rogan.
Boy, do we have some exciting news to share with everyone at home. Just before I got here on the news set, we watched a press conference held by Marjorie Taylor Greene, at which she accepted conservative firebrand white supremacist fruit leather and author Ann Coulter's challenge of a charity foot race. They're apparently going to hold the race at the historic Churchill Downs Racetrack.
Now let's go get up to speed on how the markets are looking this morning with our financial reporter, Morgan Gorgonzola. Morgan?
Thanks, Anchor Cat. Even though the market has been rather bullish lately, today it was sluggishly bearish, which many analysts said could happen after what many of them said was a very orangutan-y second quarter. And no one can forget that the quarter before that was an outright ostrich quarter, if ever there was one. So what to expect tomorrow, of course, is anyone's guess. But a lot of folks around Wall Street are telling me to expect full-blown zebra market by the end of the week. Back to you, Anchor Cat.
Thanks, Morgan. We'll be right back.
Capitalism. Ain't it the best? Sure, it's a system by which the hoarding and profiteering of food and resources is encouraged. And yes, in this system, a lack of food and resources can, if you're a parent, mean lack of food and resources for your kids. And that lack of food and resources could mean your kids will die in a mass grave somewhere. But really, isn't capitalism fucking great?
Paid for by the McDuck Musk Bezos Zuckerberg Foundation for a Modern Aristocracy. On the next, Vagina Bay.
What are you trying to say? You came all this way to Vagina Bay? Really, Ray?
Vagina Bay. Tuesdays at 11:35 a.m. Only on Real TV.
Okay, so maybe you didn't want to have a permanent boner, but you did want a boner that would last a lot longer than average boners. And you're not sure that the makers of Turgidify are legally allowed to make their boner pills after their historic class action lawsuit. I get that. Well, after consulting with our legal team, Chemtech, the fine people who brought you Turgidify decided, you know what, fuck them. Who cares? You want a long-lasting bone rock, and we want to sell you the stuff to get your bone rock hard. So, take Stiffen Up today. It's just like Turgidify, but only lasts 12 hours. Stiffen Up, because you're not going to let some bureaucratic government agency tell you what you can use to get your peen-ween hard for half a day, and we don't think you should have to.
Welcome back. Former President Donald Trump could spend years in federal prison if he's convicted on one or many of the counts he's currently under indictment for. Trump is accused of willfully holding on to national secrets after no longer having any legal claim to them when he left office. While he has vowed publicly to fight the charges vigorously, he's giving some signs that he understands how dire things are for him privately. In a letter sent to federal prosecutors this week, Trump asked, via his attorneys, if Chicken McNuggets and Big Macs are available from the prison cafeteria where he'd be serving his sentences. So far, the Department of Justice has not responded to Trump's inquiry. Now let's take a look at a clip from this weekend's Roundtable Political Discussion Show, which will air on Saturday and Sunday morning at 3:35 a.m.
I'm telling you guys, it is stupid to engage with the libs on this because they'll never understand. They just won't. They don't get why it's totally fine for the leading cause of death of kids to be gun violence because they don't get what freedom means.
That's a good point, man. But it should also be said that if you were to compare the children who died of gun violence to, say, anything ever in the history of this planet, it's such a minuscule, insignificant amount of children.
Completely agreed, gentlemen. Completely agreed on this simpatico. But let's also not forget, gentlemen, that as members on several gun manufacturers' boards, we have a financial and fiduciary responsibility, honestly, to keep shoving guns into every American's hands that we can. And is there anything we love more than our money?
A family?
I ain't seen two of my kids since they were born. On fucking purpose. You know what I mean?
It's time now to check in on right-wing podcaster and singer-songwriter Jethro Bohiggins, who does a weekly editorial from the MAGA point of view for us. Take it away, Jethro.
Thanks as always, Anchor Cat, for your fine introduction. Boy, it's just always such a pleasure to share the nation's broadband internet bandwidth with you. But as excited as I am to be speaking to you all again, it's also with a very, very heavy heart. Now, admittedly, my doctor did in fact tell me that if I do not stop eating deep-fried Pringles, smothered in bacon gravy every morning for breakfast, that my already literally heavy heart could explode, but in this case, I'm speaking more in the metabolical sense than the literal one, if you catch my drift. You see, my metabolic heart is heavy because this past week, I challenged myself to gather up every single Bible verse that I could that directly forbids socialisms, abortions, and or gender confirmation. And I swear to God, at first I thought those adult phonics courses did nothing for me because I wasn't seeing nothing in the Bible like that. But when my cousin and my sister verified she could not also find those passages in there, I got panicked. And I won't even describe to you what I made happen in my pants when Sue Ann found the Bible verse that actually gives people instructions on how to do abortions in ancient times. But it weren't pretty, nor were it chocolate, no matter how much it looked like it or tasted like it. Sorry, Sue Ann. Anyway, all I found was stories of Jesus saying to be nice to people, to be less judgmental, to remember he loved all of us, which really started setting off my woke-dar fam. So there I was, nose deep in my Bible, and not finding a single anti-LGBT or anti-socialist verse, and it hit me like a runaway F-150 with a fuck Biden sticker on the back. George Soros paid the Bible printers off and had them remove all those passages. My God, it's so obvious, fam. Do not tell me you can't see it. I can see it. Well, I can see that my time is actually up for this week, and seeing as how I just blew the lid off the biggest conspiracy in the history of the world, I gotta go hype it up on my QAnon YouTube channel, so I'm out of here. See you next time, fam.
Well, that's all the time we have left in this broadcast. I guess we'll have to get you all that story about the massive, undulating cloud of radioactive goo hovering over the country that we've been teasing from the top of the hour another time. Goodbye, everyone.